Yo, it's Max.
It's RJ.
And it's another time, another place, another date of Streaming Cassettes.
The same place.
Same place, but I got my OK Boomer shirt on.
Different shirts today. I got Godzilla with
Woo!
a guitar.
Godzilla with a guitar.
Very different.
So GG's. So good games.
Double G.
Double G.
Gucci.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Twice.
Gucci
Twice.
You doing good, man?
Yeah.
You're present?
I'm present, I think.
I think so. You know what? Let's do a little BTS behind the scenes.
Dynamite?
Yeah, Dynamite. Yeah, sure. You know, that song's not bad.
Oh, it's pretty catchy.
I think the added, I think like they're expanding on their English vocabulary, and it helps much in the.
I think they can speak full English. They just
choose not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it is an international artist, so I totally get that. But yeah, from our basic Americana Englishness here, I dig it. I was like, okay, I actually can hear like most of the stuff. But they have a song with I forget the name, but with Lau, which is pretty catchy, and that's kind of 50-50. But
Ooh.
Yes, the little BTS though. I had a little bit of the grumbles, and I wasn't sure we'd be recording tonight, but RJ kind of did the you know what, don't be a bitch move, low key. He's like, is it that bad? And I was like, yeah, you know what, I could probably do it.
You did it.
You're
did
here.
It.
He's like, step up. I'm like, okay, I'm stepping up. Yes, sir.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch.
It's your banana.
I ate my banana.
Took some stuff.
Took some Tums. Yep, I'm here. I'm good.
You're good.
It wasn't. I could tell it wasn't like Fiji flu. The little rocket power shout. I remember that show, the Fiji flu. But yeah, no. It's just like, you know what? Let's get things rolling.
Get it done.
Get it done. And you know what? Another BTS shout out to my new phone. Look at that little shiny little iPhone 12 Pro. He's Android, so yeah, you can get the splits that way around here.
The splits.
Yeah, splits, different opinions. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited to do the show.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be interesting this week? We're gonna change it up. We are not gonna have a meme or stream. We're gonna talk about a meme, but as far as like listening to a song, it's more of we're just gonna bring up kind of a general thing that we've seen in the TikTok universe for the last 2 weeks, I would say.
At least.
And then for debate of the week, I guess we'll give you guys a little preview. We're going to talk about our guilty pleasures. What's those songs that you don't want to necessarily have out in the open, but you're like, you know what? It makes me happy. It makes me do a little shimmy.
It makes me jam.
And then, of course, we got our rewinds and
Jammy
jams. We got our rewinds, our forwards of the week. And as this time of the recording, we're looking at a little bit of October 24th. Obviously, you'll watch later. But remember, you can still register to vote.
Yes.
So that's important. I know we did a big thing last time, a little PSA, but hey, still do it.
You better do it.
You got to do it. Well, that sounds a little cryptic, but you have the right to do it. It's your voice. And whether it's something big like El Presidente or small with like around here, being in Rutland, there's a bond measure if they want to prove money to get buy the gym from the former CSJ college for the city or not. And that's your choice. You can say yay or nay. So that works. Or state senate or town city reps for the state. You know, that stuff's important. So remember, register to vote. Get yourself a taco. You know, it's going to be Taco Tuesday on election day. So can't beat that.
Your vote does count.
It does count. I know.
Some people don't say that.
But
it does.
If anything, right? Because people may go not to get super political, but in the wheelhouse electoral college versus popular vote, I get it. But when it comes down to the local stuff, I've seen races won around here by like 5 votes. Mm-hmm. So it matters. I've actually worked polling places and it gets counted. I see the ticker tape. We have to go through everything. You know, they have an automated machine, but if there's like miscues and stuff, we got to go by hand, count it. It's a whole process. I think sometimes it gets glazed over by sort of the news of the day, but it really does happen. It really means a lot. So let's go into more of a meme discussatory. Is that the word?
Discussatory?
Discussatory. I'm making it up. I think what we're going to talk about is this. So there's 2 videos. There's probably 3, but 2 or 3 to come mind in the TikTok world that have gone viral more than usual for twerking. Now, before you say, Max, it's TikTok, it's Thirst Trap City, there's thotties everywhere. Of course, we're going to have twerking. No, I get it, but there's an uptick of epic proportions in the booty jiggle. Now, as a heterosexual man, I do enjoy it thoroughly. I'm not gonna lie, but and RJ probably agrees. But all types, all shapes and sizes, all genders, we support the twerk. But the thing that we've noticed is with, at least I've noticed, is with two songs. One is the spin-off of Stand By Me, which is twerk for me. And basically, if you do it, it kind of goes like,
oh, God.
Boom,
Here we
boom,
go.
boom, boom, and you just shake. I did like everything the opposite to show my butt on the camera. So that's totally on me. So that's obviously the big one. The other one is the mix from. Sorry, I'm on.
What are you doing?
I'm on the cord on my chair.
First it was the light, and now it's the thing.
The cord is stuck in my thing. Okay, well, we'll deal with that.
I think it'll be fine.
Everything's great. It's gonna be great. The second one though is with Coldplay's "Viva La Vida" with "Shake It" from, I forget the name of that artist, but "Shake It" like oh God, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
But yes, those are the two that are really bringing the booty back. Well, I can't say it's bringing it back. It's been here.
It's been there.
It's been exponentially improved in its marketing in the
Yes.
last couple of weeks. So have you noticed these trends in your world?
I have. I was like, that's interesting. There's a lot more butts.
Butts.
Not like butts in English, like actual butts.
Yes.
The shape.
Two T's. Yeah, I've noticed it myself. Obviously, one thing I always find interesting and it'd be worth like doing a deep dive is, you know how things go viral. We know this. But when does the sauce really kick in? When's that moment? When's like, the Big Bang Theory? When does like Baby Jesus come out? When is it before the song gets big or the trend, and when it pops off? Right? Everyone knows the before. Everyone knows like the pop off phase. But what triggers it? Is it an influencer? Is it like a certain event that happened in the news or in the world that just kicks it? Like, for example, like in the vice presidential debate, the whole fly thing became a meme because it landed on Pence's head. So right when that hit, that's your epicenter of like, okay, this is going to be a thing because this fly hung out 5 seconds a little longer than a fly on somebody's head's going to. Those things happen with different trends, and it'd be worth trying to nail that down. But do you feel like these type of videos with twerking are actually original, or is it getting kind of like played out?
I don't think it's getting played out. It's like, so we've come back to this now. That's kind of my feeling on it. Like, we've had so many trends on TikTok, and now we're coming back to this. Like Vine had that too for a while. So like the twerk.
Yeah.
And gas pedal was another one.
Oh yeah, gas pedal.
So now it's like TikTok has now grasped that aspect of Vine. And it's like, we're coming back to this again. It's like, in my opinion, it's almost unoriginal because like, we got to see this again. Didn't we just see this? But things do repeat. There's a lot of repeats in music. Like, things do come full circle.
Mm-hmm. You know what I find interesting is, like there's always like viral dances or memes, at least in the last decade, right? Or at least I feel like since the middle of the 2000s, you've always had like a viral thing. But usually it's like once to twice a year you get like a thing pop off. Mm-hmm. In the era of TikTok, because of the rate of like sharing ability and the rate of attention span, I feel like you almost have 30 to 40 of those in a year.
Yes.
Like just the level of like you can go to different things. You're like, oh yeah, that popped off, and then it dies, and then this pops off. And I feel like the half-life is almost shorter than in the past with different things. Mm-hmm. First like I Crank That Soldier Boy, he had like 6 to 8 months on that gravy train. Or probably at least 90 days of peak greatness. But like now it's like you can go a week and then you're off.
Yeah, TikTok filters everything so quickly nowadays. It's like, oh yeah, that was cool, and now it's gone.
Like the Taylor Swift one, the love story with like the skateboard. Like that had a solid 10 days, 2 weeks, and then that died off. Mm-hmm. Like these twerk ones will probably die off like by the time you watch this recording.
And this dance went pretty fast too, and then the Drake song went pretty fast too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tootsie Slide. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what's weird? You're talking about the Savage dance, right? Yeah. So what's interesting is like that one bucked so much trend. It's so weird, right? It had an instrumental and the people did it, and then a remix happened with Jason Derulo, and then he popped off, and then it became the number one song in the country last week because BTS did a remix.
Yeah.
So it's like that one did the opposite. Usually it's like the song becomes the viralness. The viralness became the song. Very interesting trend. And I'm curious how many more times we'll have that happen.
Yeah, it's very interesting, like you said, how things just pop off so quick.
That's why I was kind of like, let's talk about it because it is in our meme world, right? Like it happens. Actually another example is I know like Pop Smoke has another song. And I think that one's kind of a semi-twerky, croony thing, but like, yeah, these things happen. It was worth bringing up. I think that obviously it'll keep happening. I'm just curious if we're gonna just be getting the same burger with different sauces on it. Honestly, that's the way you look at the twerk videos, or if it's gonna ever like evolve into anything more or less. Obviously there's a basic human need there, whether right or wrong, but
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just a thought I had that I thought was worthy of bringing up in this.
It's like the other thing is like, will we even remember it in a few months?
It's hard, like those. I'm a savage, classy, like that one. You had that one too, like from Meg Thee Stallion, and you have like WAP. Like WAP had a thing, and then that like the song obviously is still on the charts, but like the meme of it died off.
Yeah. The only thing that really stays is like the countdowns and the put a finger down, put a finger up.
Mm-hmm.
Those seem to stay. Those seem to be fun.
Right, because I think they're open for so much interpretation that you can kind of do what you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one too. Is it time for guilty pleasures?
Top 5 artists of guilty pleasures for us. Oh snap!
Guilty pleasures.
Is that the sound effect you're gonna use?
Yeah, I think like we don't have like a
cool thing.
Little sound machine. I mean, we could, but I'm like, it just feels organic when it comes from the heart.
Yeah, sound machines can get overdone
a little bit.
Yeah.
We need to do better on? We need to tell people that we are part of Wingman of the Year. I noticed when I was editing last week, I'm like, we have to talk more about this. So not to like go off on it. This is sponsored by, but Wingman of the Year is the network we're part of. Shout out to them. We got some great shows on there. We have obviously Winging It with Hunter and Tyler. We have Kevin with the Kevin McTaggart Show. He's going to have to come on here soon. Also, you have Wingman Business coming out shortly. I did an episode with Hunter last week recording that, so he'll be out in the public soon.
Nice. And
not so much a podcast, but a limited show that'll come out once in a while is Are You Smarter Than a Wingman? And your boy crushed it.
I heard.
I killed it with like 10,000 something points. I was peaking at 12 before final questioning.
Where can we watch that?
On our YouTube channel and on our website, wingmanoftheyear.com.
In both forms?
In both forms.
Ooh, everywhere podcasts are sold or played?
Oh, definitely.
Sold
and played. I actually challenged you and Kevin to the next episode.
I saw that. I'm ready. Yeah. I am ready.
I struggled in the science area a little bit, but also you would have been disappointed in me. I got a Pink Floyd question wrong.
Oh, I got that right.
Yeah, I said The Wall for the album cover. You meant to say the Dark Side of the Moon. I knew it was, as soon as I said The Wall, I knew it was wrong because as soon as I said, no, I meant to say the Dark Side, but I was almost going to say Dark Side of the Prism. I'll admit, that's what I was going to say because it's like, but it's sort of an insult where I'm on a music show and I done fucked that up. I know that you don't have to.
Done messed up, Ron.
Yeah, that's how I feel. So yes, check it out. They got merch. You can get our shirts. Our shirts are supposed to come in the mail, so I'm pumped to wear the Streaming Cassette shirts.
We have merch.
We have merch. We have to actually make your deathcore vegan shirt. Hunter actually showed me. I have to show you the video later, but he got some screen printers.
Nice.
Now you with the like arms on it and stuff. Getting big time here over at Wody.
Don't forget, like us, follow us, comment what you think.
Yes, please do.
Don't forget, give us ratings too, 5-star reviews. So then Spotify and Apple can put us out on your front page.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Streaming Cassettes, but Wingman and Wingman Business.
But you know what? We don't even have to always do like an ask. Let's do this. If you want to have a question on here or have a topic, please let us know.
Oh.
We want to involve you. We'll call you in. We're going to do these meetings on Zoom or recordings. So we can page you in. We can put you in a little side box and let's talk about music. Early on, we've been in the camp of like trying to get our bearings and some chemistry. Like we've had chemistry for years doing shows, but like us two, this is kind of brand new. So we're like, you know what? Let's get some other people. Let's talk about the jams, the jammy jams. The jammy jams. So, but thank you for everyone that watches and downloads. We have people, huge dominions. No, I'm not going to be the president. But no, by the dozens. We have a couple dozen here, a couple dozen there, and we love it. So thank you very much. Now it's time. Guilty!
Who's going first? Are we going to go flip-flop? 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3.
You want rock, paper, scissors to go.
Oh, live?
Live.
So, you win.
Okay, I'm going first.
Do your
Are we going like 5 to 1?
Honorable mentions first, or do we want to do honorable mentions before number 1?
Ooh, maybe. Okay. So I have 4, but when I told you this beforehand, the number 1 spot for me will vomit into a bunch of things. So I think this will work out. So for number 5, guilty pleasure, I'll go with some Flow Rider.
Ooh, nice.
Now, obviously, like I grew up in, born 89, high school era, graduated 07. So Flow Rider was definitely in the like college age repertoire. A little low, a little elevator. Hands in the air with Will I Am. I was trying to sing the song in my head. Remember the song. We have a little bit of Club Can't Handle Me. We got Right Round. We got Can't Let Go. Lots of hits from Flow Rider. I can just keep rambling. My House,
And I have an
going
idea.
down for real. Yes.
We each going to ask each other, why is it a guilty pleasure?
Ooh,
why is it different from your other music?
I like this audible. So, okay, the reason I say guilty pleasure is I think that Flow Rider is kind of perceived in the hip hop community as kind of a sold out kind of poppy artist. There's not really any lyrical depth to him. Whistle, those. But I just kind of like the electro pop rap era. Like it was really fun. I like high energy stuff. Sometimes I joke that like I'm sort of like popped out, like wilding, like little like ravey festival kind of guy. But yeah, I think that's why I like Flow Rider. I think it's just like high energy, and I know it's not like a deep repertoire as some other lyrical peers of him in the last decade or so, but I like it. I jam to it.
Okay. So you did like my Omaha.
I do like
my Green 15.
So you're asking me why I listen like Flow Rider versus other
ones?
That
for me too. I just thought of that.
I think it's just I think it goes back to the
because people
energy
can
of the
be
catalog.
like, oh wait, you listen to that stuff anyway. What's the difference? It's like, well, there is a difference.
Because with Flow Rider or like any of our guilty pleasures, right? It's more of you almost have a sense of like society is telling you should be ashamed of it or embarrassed, at least for you as a person, right? So like if you're a male, you should have this expectation of music listening. If you are a female, you should have this expectation, right? If you are from like this part of the country, you should listen to this stuff. Like it's just kind of more of a society expectation.
Yeah.
And so for Flow Rider, it may not be my most embarrassing on the list, but it's one where it's like, okay, if you're trying to be like, all right, this is like not thoughtful hip hop, like it's not like J. Cole, it's not like a Kendrick. Like as far as like acclimated, like or like the accolades for him. I get it, he's pop, but I like it. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my Flow Rider one.
All
now,
right.
What's your number 5?
My number 5, we're taking a step back to like the 70s and the 80s people. And a little bit of the 90s, I think. I think they were popular in the 90s. You can't look at my list. What are you doing?
I don't know. I have a guess who you might bring up, so that's why I'm curious.
Oh, yeah, they might be on there. Those people might be on there. We're not going to mention any names yet.
Yeah, okay.
But my number 5 is Blondie.
Blondie, okay.
Yes. Band from the 70s, 80s, a little bit of the 90s. Kind of got that punk style, but they also got that ska, reggae stuff in there, especially, The Tide is High, which I don't really listen to, but because it's just overplayed. And they're like, oh my God, I love Blondie. It's like, but can you name another song? Yeah, thank you. But yeah, they have some really good punk, rockish songs that I love. But when you put it in my genre of music, you're like, you really listen to that? So, yeah, I do. So that's the why. It's like I listen to heavy stuff, but then I can go into Blondie, which has some ska and some reggae and some. She has delved into some pop too in the 80s. So, but what I like about them is that they really what's that word? When they can do a lot of things. They're
multi-talented,
no,
versatile.
Yeah, they're very versatile in a band. Like even though they play straight rock, they do other genres like pop, punk, and like I said, ska, reggae a lot. So
how did you kind of like decide to say, shit, I'm gonna dive into their catalog beyond like what you hear on the radio?
A couple friends at Goodwill actually liked them. Like a couple friends. I'm like, I should probably finally listen to them because they've always been on my radar of like, I should check these guys out just to see. And they've been on the radio a few times. I'm like, let me deep dive. And I found some songs that are not on the radio. They're freaking amazing. And so adding to their hits, I was like, I dig it. I dig it. I could put them on my playlist.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You actually inspired me to get another slot on my list.
Okay.
I didn't realize that we were going to go back.
Oh, I just was like, that's one I listened to. That's old, but okay.
So I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So am I on my number 4?
Yes.
The Bee Gees.
Oh, really?
I was like, wait, hold on a second. That's a guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to probably draw some inspiration from my mom because she kind of grew up in the, born in 60, lived in like, high school era in the 70s, early 80s, and she was like in the fitness instructing. So always that high energy. But yeah, no, I feel like the disco era was always kind of shit talked on, but I think there's some real bops in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also thinking, I thought you were going to bring up, and I'm sorry if you have this on your list, I thought you were going to bring up ABBA.
ABBA.
I don't know why. I was like,
random.
I'm like, he's gonna bring up ABBA, but no. Bee Gees, Staying Alive. They have other tracks as well too, but there's something about like that high pitch where I don't know. It's just infectious. I don't know if it was like listening to my mom jam those songs when I was younger, but I was like, yeah, like
I don't think I have to ask why. I mean, it's very different.
Yeah, it's super different. I just think that sometimes where you hear it and you're like, okay, I'm feeling like this funky bass coming.
They have some grooves.
Oh yeah,
they really do.
Yeah, no, I should pull up their catalog, but like it's just one of these things where like the Bee Gees actually has some hits, and you kind of forget sometimes, and you're like, okay.
Barry Gibb was a dick though, but still.
Oh really? I don't really know much about Barry Gibb.
Yeah, if you watch the Barry Gibb talk show, Jimmy Fallon, Justin Timberlake, that's how he was. Not like that, but there are times where he was like that. He was like, "This is my band, nobody else."
Like, How Deep Is Your Love? That's a ballad, but that's still a good one. And then from Greece, Night Fever. That's another one. Or no,
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever. Not Greece. Why did I think Greece?
John Travolta.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's why.
Wasn't losing my marbles there.
In his heyday.
Yes. So yeah, that's my number 4 is the Bee Gees for guilty pleasure.
Very different.
Yes, very different, especially for me because I don't usually go way back like that. All right, you're number 4.
Number 4, kind of popular.
Okay.
Billie Eilish.
Okay. I can see why.
Took me a while to really dive into that because when things explode, I kind of just like I'm gonna wait until it kind of dives down and everybody kind of gets off the high horse and be like, "Oh my god, it's so good." I'm like, okay, now I'll go check it out when everything's kind of leveled out. Her stuff's pretty good.
Can't be too ahead of things.
No, I don't like to. Sometimes I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am. No, but I really like her stuff. It's really catchy, dark. But some of it is lighthearted too.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the dark content. I will say something to her fans. She's not the first like really emo dark artist. If you listen to NF and Linkin Park, that's where it all started. And grunge. Okay, there's some dark lyrics for grunge music. But anyway, for a pop star to be dark, it really kind of made me go, okay, this is worth checking out and worth going into. I mean, we all know Bad Guy, and Bad Guy's super catchy. I mean, you turn your lights down, get some strobe lights. It's like, oh, it's a mood. It's a mood. And yeah, and the one that really got me was the Crown song because of the creepy little piano in the chorus in the background. If you hear it in the headphones, it's like, oh, that's spooky. Okay, this is different than other pop songs. And Her future song's really good too. So yeah.
What track for her? Like Everything I Want's pretty good.
That's
and
good
then the Lovely, it's like a throwback before she really popped off, but with Khalid as a duet. That's a good one.
That too, and Ocean Eyes was a throwback too.
Oh yes, yep. That's another one. That makes sense. So you just kind of heard the hype and you're like, okay, let me try it out, but you wanted to wait till things settled.
I waited till everything kind of died down.
Okay.
Which is usually smart because people are like, oh, you're just listening to that, that's popular. It's like, no, she has talent, and so does her brother. So
Phineas.
Supposedly they're not in the same room.
Or no, not Phineas. That's a Disney Channel show. Phineas. Yes. All right, my number 3. Okay, and I should probably air quote this because I can't say the whole catalog because there are some stuff that just is not my cup of tea, but there is stuff that I'm a sucker for. More of the older items, but you'll get why. Mariah Carey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of the like 90s stuff, like Fantasy and Heartbreaker. I know I'm a sucker for like that, like pop R&B from that 90s era. I think kind of blending like sort of what Diddy was doing at the time, so it kind of felt that same sort of vibe. But yeah, there are some times where I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling this. Like obviously, We Belong Together is a like a hit that was popular back in the day, but that one can kind of be overplayed to me. Like Shake It Off, kind of catchy. Like Obsessed, but she's obviously a huge mega diva, so like that part turns me off from like as far as beyond music goes. But
she's still with Nick.
No.
Okay, I think he was smart.
Yeah, Nick is. I don't know who Nick Can's in that. He's with somebody, but yeah, that train set sail. But yes, that was always obviously the awkward. But yeah, no, Mariah Carey. I think it's just like I think it started. My mom probably had it because she did fitness instructing up till I was like 7 years old, and then went back to school. But I think it was probably in the catalog, right? That makes sense. High energy workout music in the 90s, and I was like, oh, this sounds catchy. And then you hear it on the radio when you're a kid, and then just kind of grew from there. So yeah, I would say a little bit of the Mimi is I definitely have some of those on my my playlist. But as far as deep dive of Mariah Carey, not a ton there, but more just like the bops kind of.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you why.
Okay,
it's pop. And you listen to pop.
Yes, that's probably the most basic element of it. So if you have the pop song that's like a really catchy chorus and stuff, then you had a Jay-Z feature on it back where Jay-Z was like really hova. That definitely helps too. So
okay, yeah, and she has some bad lip syncing problems too.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That's why I'm like the later stuff. I'm not as much of like like wild on, but earlier things I will definitely sometimes have on repeat.
That whistle though.
Yes. You know what's actually a really good remix is the Shake It Off remix with Jay-Z and Young Jeezy.
Oh.
Yeah, very deep dive if you ever want to listen to something a little different from like the 05 era.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. What's your number 3?
My number 3. Some of you might have heard of them, but some of you might have not. It's a trio, I think. I think it's a trio. Live, it's on trio, but they are a trio. Churches.
Okay. Yeah.
Very keyboard heavy. Heard them on EQX driving one day, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But then the next day, I'm like, oh, this song's catchy. It's still in my head. And I'm like, okay, it's not their best song, but I'm going to listen to more and listen to more and listen to more. I'm like, you know what? It's not my cup of tea, but for some reason, I am hooked. And sometimes music does do that. Like, I don't know what this is, but it's getting me hooked. It could be her voice. It could be the creativity with just keyboard and a drum machine, which, as you know, I don't really enjoy. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I was like, this is very creative and it's very innovative. But of course, they're not huge. I know they did songs with Marshmello, but
yeah, that was like their biggest one to date. At least from like a mainstream standpoint.
For mainstream, yeah, it was pretty big for them. But they're still doing clubs and stuff, so they're at the EQX level still, which is kind of good, and I kind of like that.
Yeah,
because I have discovered people like that before. I have been ahead of the curve. Like 21 Pilots was because of EQX. I'm like, these guys are good. And then Stressed Out came out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, they're a lot better. Go listen to their other stuff.
They got the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're still doing well. I'm glad they're doing well, though. I'm glad 21 Pilots are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, side note, they are not on my list.
Oh,
I would not put them on my list because
I don't think that's a guilty pleasure.
It's not because of the creativity that they do with pop music, and they also have some hip hop elements too, and the lyrical content is very creative. So I think people will be like, "Oh yeah, he's a metalhead," but I can see him listening to 21 Pilots.
Well, I think that's what's hard with this list. I was going through different artists, and I'm like, sure, like I like just some Justin Timberlake stuff, but like he matured.
Exactly.
So how's that? I don't know if that's guilty
Well,
pleasure.
I did that too. We'll go back to churches, but I'm like, pop punk. That's not guilty pleasure because I love that stuff. I grew up on that stuff, so it's not really guilty for me.
It's something I think of it this way: is that if you have it on and there's somebody that doesn't really know you in the car, would you turn the knob to try to look cool? That's a guilty. That's how I define a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Because it's something where you're like, shit. If I show this card right now, I feel like I'm gonna get hosed for it, whether right or wrong. But that's what made me kind of create this list. I'm like, okay, I'm hitting skip on these, but by myself, I will enjoy it thoroughly. So 2.
Yes.
All right, you're gonna kind of laugh because this is almost like if you had Pokemon as a reference, like the evolution of this person, like a newer form, like the second gen of the last one. Do you have a guess when I said that? Ariana Grande. It's like 20 years later, the same product model, kind of obviously different, but yeah, I have to say an Ariana Grande one. Okay, so let me explain how this one sort of came on its own. The first song that she had was the way I love you with or the way I are. Well, I forget the name. It might just be the way, actually. I might be overanalyzing it with Mac Miller. And I'm like, it's a sample, right? Classic sample. And it's just wicked catchy. And I'm like, this is kind of a good little pop. So, hit the download. I'm like, all right, I feel this Mac did good. Ariana Grande, she has a good voice. It's cute. Like, I know it's pop, but teeny popish, but I'm like, yeah, I feel this. And then she did one with like Sean, Big Sean. I'm like, okay, I feel this. And then like she did Break Free with Zed, and I was like feeling the high energy there. And it's kind of like more and more as I was listening, I was like, oh, this is kind of catchy. Like Problem with even Iggy Azalea. I know she's a little sold out now, but like even that song was catchy. One Last Time. I'm like, okay, this is catchy. And it just kind of turned into like not every song I'm downloading on my phone, like Side to Side with Nicki Minaj, not necessarily my favorite track from her, but like the more and more I started having shit on my phone, I'm like, ooh, I kind of dig like Ariana Grande music. And it's like one of those where I'm like, damn, like I don't know how maybe like publicly this looks for me, like in my head, but it's like I fuck with it.
She's 27, but she looks 14.
Well, that's
because you're like, oh, she's cute. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, it looks like on paper like she looks way younger, but yeah, no, she's like mid late 20s, 27.
I'm not gonna ask why.
Why?
Yeah, this is definitely a turn
for Max.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, it's like I think the production in Thank You Next is like top notch. The lyrical content is like, but again, it's like a sucker pop song. It gets you in there. Like the song Boyfriend, which is the group that made Thank You Next, Social House, just catchy. Now, like Seven Rings, I think Seven Rings is a little outplay. Mm-hmm. So there's times where I'm like, okay, it's fine. But then there's ones I listen from her and I'm like, this is good. I dig it. So that's why I thought, I know it's crazy to say, but I have Ariana Grande in my 2 spot. Nice. For some guilty pleasures.
All right. And before we get to number 1, we will do
honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions, yes.
Okay.
All right. My number 2. Now, some of you might disagree with this one. Some of you might agree. I'll explain. Number 2 is John Mayer. Now, for all the people out there that are like, oh, RJ loves technical stuff, I don't see it. But for the people who are like, your body is a wonderland, yeah, no such thing.
No such thing as what?
No such thing. One of his first hits. Pretty much his first album was like that poppy, romantic. And he had some romantic songs. So people would be like, you would probably like, wow, you like John Mayer? The hell? But then like a musician would be like, well, I can see that because he's a really technical player. But there are some songs that come up. I'm like, skip it. There's a gym rat right here. I'm gonna skip this song. Mm-hmm. He has some songs like that, but he explained it in not a sponsor, Hot Ones, how he can write these technical songs, but in his head he still has these poppy melodies that he likes to write for other people.
He's done more songwriting recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, even in Your Body's a Wonderland, there is a really weird breakdown that he does. It's really technical, but a lot of people will not notice it because it's that song. And a couple of his newer songs too, like I forget the name of it, but it's like a 80s pop song. It's catchy, but at the same time, you're like, do I skip this with somebody in the car that knows I just listen to metal? So, but yeah, because when you first say John Mayer, you're like, oh, that's weird. But then if you talk to somebody else who plays a guitar or anything, they're like, yeah, he's great guitar player. But he has those songs that you're like, yeah, I should probably skip this.
I dig that.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions?
Yeah. I gotta look up that song. I'm not gonna say it, but I have to look up that song I was thinking of.
Oh, we can say if you want. Just tell me.
It's such a catchy song too. I think it's called New Light or something, but it's so catchy. Maybe it'll be on my forward find.
Ooh. All right. I'm trying to think of what's hard is what's guilty or not to me. But okay, I just thought of one while you were talking. So honorable mention is Train.
Yes, it is New Light.
New Light?
Yeah, it's so good.
So Train, I'll use honorable mention, right?
You see that? Yeah, I think that's for everybody.
Yeah, because it is. It's like it's quirky. It has its own thing, but I think Meet Virginia is a
good song.
Highly underrated song. Good song. Obviously, Soul Sister's good, but like it
Drops
is like
Jupiter, man.
Yeah, Drops of Jupiter. It's another universe. But my wife is really into Train, so I think before I met her, I was just like, oh, they got a couple songs, I can dig it. And then obviously me and her, I've gone to see Train twice now, and they are really good at live, and I dig it.
Okay, I don't enjoy it, but how does he sing live? Because he does have a unique.
It's honestly one and the same. The way he sings live is how he sings on like the radio, so to speak, or like on the tracks. Because like some people sound like shittier. He's like consistent, so I have to give him credit.
He does have a good voice.
Pat. He does.
Yeah, he does not use a lot of autotune or dubs.
No, it's pretty natural sounding.
Mm.
No, he's like, and they're really interactive with the crowd. They do a really good live show.
Good.
So I have to give some credit to but yeah, no, Train would be on my guilty pleasure list, honorable mention. Because I don't think it's too much crap if you get them, but it is a little off kilter for my catalog. I'm trying to think. I guess I was trying to think of electronic artists because sometimes I think certain electronic artists get a guilty pleasure thing.
Really?
I think Marshmello kind of fits in that category.
Yeah.
He's a little basic at times. But I do listen to some of his stuff. I was on the fence about the Chainsmokers, but
I was thinking about it too when you said that. I was like, yeah, probably because of the first big hit they had, Selfie, and then of course that Coming Back to You, My Rover.
Oh, Closer?
Yeah.
Or Closer? The Closer. No.
Next year, Denzel Washington is the closer. Not the equalizer. He's the closer.
But no, like I like their stuff, and obviously I've gone to see him twice. My wife loves them, and obviously you know the backstory. There's like a little bit of a connection I have with them. So like, it's yeah. But I don't know if that's guilty. I'm willing to admit that one. So that's why I was having a tough time with them.
I mean, they do have good songs. I like the song they ever Coldplay. I really like that song.
Something just like this.
Yeah, I think their drop's good because they changed it the second time, which I like.
Like Roses is really good.
Yes.
Trying to think of like other ones I really like.
They have good songs, just like they get overplayed and they get into the generic.
I think so. I will say this. So the Memories Do Not Open album, which was like their big album originally after like their success to show off, and they kind of fell from there because people thought it was like over trying to sound like this punk band vibe. But I thought World War Joy brought a lot of stuff back that was, helped their branding a little bit, in my opinion, with different songs. Push My Luck, I like that track, for example. But yeah, no, they're pretty good. And obviously after that, like, I don't think Zed's guilty. I don't think Martin Garrix is guilty. I don't think Calvin Harris is guilty. So I don't have any guilties in there that I would not be ashamed of saying. So yeah, I think that's kind of my honorable mentions. What about yours?
I have a few more, but I'm just gonna name them off. Earlier, I was really into earlier T Swift before she went kind of poppy.
Ooh, okay, that's a good
I think the songs were really catchy. I thought they were catchy. Like I don't listen to them anymore, but like back in the day, I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Okay, she has some songwriting chops here, like the earlier stuff, like before 22.
Has Folklore redeemed you at all?
I haven't listened to it yet. I am curious though.
It's interesting. Nicole's played some of it to me. I was like, okay.
I am curious. Cardigan. Another one would be Drake.
Okay. For you, I can see why you say that.
Yeah, I was 50-50 with it because of his rapping, but then, Passion Fruit, I love that song. So, but that's not something I would listen to. Or there's another one too. Well, he has a couple R&B songs that you like.
Just Hold On, We're Going Home.
That one, and there's another one on that album too, I think.
Oh, Me. Well, that's more rap.
That's more rap. That song is so good. But anyway, definitely Drake. Boy bands. The reason I put it in the top 5 because I don't listen to it as much as I used to. But yeah, boy bands, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. Some One Direction's pretty catchy. I did a TikTok with it.
Shout out to your TikTok with your sister. I saw that.
I knew like 3 of them. But anyway, yeah, some of their songs are good. Like we said, BTS can be catchy at times. Plus, those guys can dance. Those guys can bust a move.
You know who Nicole's hooked on after watching a Netflix special recently, documentary, is Blackpink.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Is your sister like them?
I don't know. I have to ask.
They joked. They said, "Oh, your sister's really into K-pop," and they said, "Oh yeah, you should go be friends with Becca." So,
another '80s group, Echo and the Bunnymen. Really weird gothic.
I never heard of them.
They're good. They're in Stranger Things a lot. The music, you should look them up. They're different. They're really different. But they're like a softer gothic rock kind of thing. So yeah, definitely something I would not listen to. And of course, Imagine Dragons. I had to put them. I think they didn't make top 5 because I think some of their songs are okay to listen to with people.
Yeah.
I think some of their songs you like Thunder, that's one. But actually, on the way to New Hampshire, my mini vacation a couple of weeks last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend,
Why?
Thunder came on my playlist, and I just left it on. We all kind of jammed to it, especially the Thunder. You gotta love that part.
Yeah.
But I do love that lyric content in that song. It's underrated when he goes, "Oh, you're vibing in the backseat, but now I'm on stage and you're clapping from the nosebleeds." Boom.
Deep lyrics.
I love that lyric. It's like, boom, you make fun of me, and now you're in the nosebleeds and you're clapping for me. Yeah, see?
I dig it.
So, number 1. Here we go.
So this is a grouping, but you'll get why.
Okay.
2000s, early 2000s especially, teen pop.
Ooh.
And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about like your boy bands. Some NSYNC, some BSB, Britney Spears is in the mix, Christina. There's a lot from that era that I hid as a kid because I knew that I would get hosed for it, that I absolutely will blurt out singing Happiness nowadays. So that's why I picked that. I think it was one of those times where you're like, when you're like 8, 9, 10 years old, you're going through discovery, but you like want to make sure you're not like the loser kid, especially because like I moved a lot at a younger age, so I was very like hyper aware of that stuff. But like a Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney, there's a lot of Britney's catalog that I actually like. I like Toxic. Slave for You is really good. Even like Every Time, that ballad, that's a sneaky ballad, like the concept of it for her. And I know there's a whole team, so it's not like she's writing the song. I get that. But just like the presentation of it.
What about the smaller ones, like the JoJo's and the Mandy Moores? Did you like them?
Definitely some Get Out by JoJo was definitely some fire. Mandy Moore, like Candy's not bad, but I don't know much on the discography past that. One of my favorite, I think, throwbacks back then was Genie in a Bottle, Christina Aguilera.
That song,
one
of the best beats you'll ever hear.
It's so sneaky good. I know, it's weird, and like she has
that triplet and the bass drum, so good.
Yeah, Can't Hold This Down by Christina Aguilera with Lil' Kim. That's a good one. Fighter.
Let's go listen to Genie in a Bottle right now and listen to the chorus for the double. The triplets on the bass drum. Amazing.
it's wild.
It is.
It was quite aggressive for that time. And I feel like we're going to have to talk about the boy bands back in the day as a whole segment itself.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, some, like Everybody by BSB for sure.
Okay, I love that song. But where did they go? They're like, Backstreet's back? Where did you go? It's your first album.
I guess second.
No, it's their first album.
Oh. they're just really cocky. Or
I guess so.
Or branding like went off, and they're like, okay, this is gonna be on a different album, but we shelved it for this.
Well, that album hit for like years, so maybe I don't know. It was just funny when you listen to the whole album and you're like, what?
Maybe my wife Nicole would know like a understanding.
I
of
will.
why.
Okay, not to go on the rant.
No,
their
this is
first album. It's you know how good this album is. I'm just gonna say.
They're really diving in. Okay.
1996 when self-titled came out.
Mhm.
I want to say something. From the first song, We've Gotten Going On.
Wow.
That could have been the 80s. That's how innovative that album is. That song sounds like it could be in the 80s. And then you go to
As Long As You Love Me.
Everybody and As Long As You Love Me sound like the 90s. It was like they literally went, we're going to go from the 80s then to the 90s.
Oh, Quit Playing Games with My Heart was on that?
Yeah.
Wow, that album.
And then we're going to go to some slow jams for your mom. I mean, and if you want a good girl, that's like a hardcore like 90s song. Like that album is just so good.
Yeah, no, that's some deep stuff.
And Howie sings on one song of that in that album.
Which one?
I believe it's either Darling or Anywhere With You. And Kevin sings, I think, once.
Nicole.
But then the next album, they all get parts.
Yeah. Trying to think of some. So NSYNC, that's another one. Tearing Up My Heart.
So good.
It's so good. It's Gonna Be Me. It's gonna be me. Love that. But obviously, Bye Bye Bye. Pop was really underrated. I liked Pop.
Dirty Pop.
Yep. And Girlfriend, the Nelly feature on it. There's actually like a remix with Clips, which is like
Now You're
Gone. Yeah, the Now 9 TikTok you sent me. Yeah.
We can talk about this later. Oh, we're shaking the camera.
I know, I had to stop the camera. I'm really excited.
Do you think this could be like a preview?
Okay.
Do you think NSYNC was the jump start for JT?
Like if you didn't have NSYNC, you wouldn't have been JT?
Do you think it was just for him?
Ooh, I don't know. I watched the video about the Perlman guy and like the whole like shit. I think he just wanted to duplicate again. I don't think so. You're trying to say like a chicken or the egg thing? Was it more like an actual boy band for a boy band, and then JT actually found organic success, or was it just JT and 4 other humans as a way to like sort of establish his ground for pop stars?
If you listen to the hits, it's pretty much JT and JC, right? Singing.
Oh yeah.
The other guys don't sing.
No.
At least Backstreet Boys, there was 3 leads and 2 backs.
There were a little more diverse in the stuff. I don't know. That's a good dive. I feel like I don't know. That's a good dive.
And we'll stop there.
Yeah, and now we go in the wormhole. But yeah, no, and then even like a little Bum 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 by B2K, like that was kind of go to. But yeah, it's just a lot of that era is something I will crank up almost immediately. Oh, like Enrique Iglesias. So like I can be your hero, baby. But like that, like 97 to 02 era, that's like that pop that you know is guilty.
Ricky Martin.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ricky Martin. That's just all Mambo number 5, Blue, Fireful 65. I'm just cranking it up. So that's why I decided to make it my number 1 as a whole era, because the nostalgia and like the pop formula, because I'm a sucker for it, was just peak greatness back then. Not that it isn't now, but like I don't know, there's something magical about it. So that's why that's my number 1.
All right. Okay, I don't listen to this guy as much as I used to, but he's still on my playlist, and it's very different than what I usually listen to. Number 1 is Josh Turner.
The country singer?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Dropped a bomb.
I was not expecting to go that way.
Yes, Josh Turner. I really like his stuff. I believe his stuff is like true to the country rock era. He hasn't changed to bro country. And I like his voice. His voice is very deep, and he has actually good range too, from deep to high. So, and I actually saw him in concert here in Rutland at the Paramount.
Oh yeah, what year was that?
Oh my God, I don't even remember what year that was. I was still in Pulteney.
Oh, okay, that far back. Yeah,
great show. Paramount does great stuff though.
Shout out to them. We need them back after COVID.
Maybe outside stuff.
Yeah, they were starting to dabble with that in Brandon, Esterbrook Park. Actually, our boy Mike Petrano, I think, is doing some sounding for them.
Nice. Yeah, I like Josh Turner, I like his stuff. Like I said, he sticks to his stuff, and that's why I like it. He doesn't change. He's country with some rock mixed in. I mean, he is a meme with that "Baby Lock the Door" song, but I like his stuff, and his band is really good too. His band really rips it up.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I did not expect you to pick that for your number one.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your top 5 guilty pleasures?
Maybe it's not 5. Maybe just 1. Maybe it's a couple.
I think
don't be shy.
I think we had a diverse list though.
Yes, don't be shy though. Don't be shy.
Outside Josh Charnock, that's kind of your predictable like WTF. I wasn't expecting the Blondie one from you. Is there one on mine that you didn't expect?
Bee Gees.
Yeah, as soon as you were talking about old school like that, like beyond like us being alive, I'm like, no. I'm like Bee Gees fits my list here, that's for sure. As far as like an artist where I've actually had like 2 or 3 of their songs. September, Earth, Wind and Fire. Although I think
that's a good song.
That one's getting accepted by most people, so I don't know if I can even chalk that up to guilty pleasure. But do you remember?
Sunglasses at Night is a guilty pleasure song
From
the 80s.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yes. Oh, the 80s. They have lots of sneaky ones.
Sneaks.
All right, rewind of the week. You should go first since I went first for the debate topics.
All right. I hope I can say this word right. You might have to take over.
Iridescent?
My rewind is Iridescent by Linkin Park from 2010. That's 10 years old.
Want to clip it?
Clip it.
As if the sky had blown the heavens into stars. We felt the gravity of tempered grace falling into empty space. No one there to catch you in their arms. Do you feel cold and lost in desperation? You build up hope, but failure's all you've known. Remember all the sadness and fright.
Very emotional.
Yeah, it's I think we're both kind of in the you're probably a heavier stand than me, but we're both in the stand category for LP.
Yeah.
Linkin Park, I love their shit.
I'm thinking we might have to do a deep dive on them.
I think they deserve it.
They deserve it.
They deserve like pour a 40 out for the group, like big time. I actually never heard of this song before you played it. I know that might sound sacrilegious. But
this is off 1,000 Suns. The singles are Iridescent. Waiting for the End. The Catalyst. The Catalyst, another good one. If you heard the Catalyst, I think you would know it.
Yeah.
And
I know that one.
There's some
Is Burning It Down on there?
No. That's on the next one, which is either Hunting Party or Living Things.
Is that the one? And then there's the one with like Steve Aoki on it, right?
Yeah, they remixed a couple songs too.
Yes, yeah.
Also on this is The Messenger, which is a acoustic song with just Chester, and it's amazing. So that's like a deep dive song for fans. But yeah, Iridescent. I almost changed it last minute because I watched something on YouTube. I was like, oh, maybe I'll change it because that song's amazing. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stick with it because this song, after these past couple weeks, I think we needed a song like this. And if you're dealing with anything, you should listen to this song. Mm-hmm. It's I like Mike's part because Mike doesn't really sing.
Yeah, that caught me off guard when you were playing it. I was like, wait, this is definitely not Chester.
I mean, he does sing in some songs, but this is like his oh wow, he has clean, very, very clean vocals other than just backing up and rapping. Mm-hmm. But I like how Mike's lyrics are about almost like a nuclear bomb. If you go in depth to the lyrics, it's almost like he's describing a nuclear bomb. And then Chester comes in with this no, sometimes depression and anxiety can be like a nuclear bomb. I was like, oh, that's deep. That is deep. And I like the gang vocal at the end when they all come in. That's really, really emotional. Mm-hmm. It's like a build up to that part. Yeah, it is one of their softer songs. But you know what? For some reason, Linkin Park makes softer songs and it vibes with everybody. Like people woke up playing oh, they went soft. It's like, no, I think after Hybrid and Meteor, they mixed it very well.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else can do that though.
No, I think some people try to give him flack on their last album, obviously before Chester passed. But I even was liking those songs. I like Heavy and one more. Was it
One More Light?
One More Light.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's just him.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I miss him.
Yes.
No, this was a really good song. I mean, different because I'm so used to like some of the other ones. But yeah, Waiting for the End is one of my favorites of theirs overall. But I would give this, I guess if I was giving any detraction to it, is like I sometimes if somebody likes kind of like that hook verse, and it is a little more of like an exploratory song, but it is a good vibe and a great message. So I'll give it a half.
I give it a 9.
Okay.
Because it's a little slower.
Yeah.
It's still a freaking great song. And don't forget, they just released their 20th anniversary, Hybrid Theory. I've been diving into it.
Is there anything different off it? Or?
Well, it's pretty much the whole album is remastered. It sounds great. And then they have like talking, remixes, outtakes. And there's extra songs too. Like there's like 20 freaking B-sides.
So I'm assuming these are ones that never made the cut.
And then they have like another like 10 songs that just didn't make it. And it's really good. I've delved into some of them, not all of them. I mean, it's probably like a 3-hour album probably, but
wow.
But yeah, if you listen to just Hybrid Theory and you just like go down the list to just the end, which is like all their demos and all their unreleased stuff, it's really cool.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
We honestly need to do a full episode because I was about to ask a question, but that'll spin us off for 10 minutes, so I'm not going to do it. But we go to my rewind.
Let's do it.
My rewind. I decided I was almost going to do Where'd You Go by Fort Minor. That's why it's freaky you picked Linkin Park. I was almost going to do it, but I changed it up. I did Cupid's Chokehold by Gym Class Heroes. I was listening to it this week, and I'm like, that's a good one to pick for rewind. Classic 07. Let's clip it and we'll talk about it.
Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. I never seem to get a lot. It's been some time since we last spoke. This is gonna sound like a bad joke, but mama, I fell in love again. It's safe to say I have a new girlfriend. And I know it sounds so old, but Cupid got me in a chokehold. And I'm afraid I might give in. Towels on the mat, my white flag is waving.
Take a look at my girlfriend. The whole vibe of, what was interesting about Gym Class Heroes, and I'll ask your opinion, is the fact that they almost kind of came in and just being like a rapping based like group, but then they'd always get, it was like they were the first ones I feel that got like guest features for singing hooks, like Patrick Stump. Like that was a concept that I think was kind of new back then. And you're like, oh, like why are these like features coming on these songs for like this like indie rap rocky thing? It was a really interesting concept back in the day. But what are your thoughts on the song?
Listening to it now, I don't like it as much. I thought I would, but I feel the chorus is strong, and obviously it's a sample. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. I do remember it too. I'm like,
yeah,
I definitely remember it. So, but just I wasn't vibing with it, and I don't know why.
Do you think maybe it's like dated?
It could be dated. It could be because like, Patrick's vocals are good, but they're not on par of what he can do. But yeah, that's what I think. Like I think he could do better than that. And obviously it was a sample from Supertramp, but not a bad song. It was just after like second verse of him rapping, I'm like, oh, the song's still going.
I think that I still think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think it chalks up to back then they were trying to get your money's worth with a song purchase.
Yeah. And
that was streaming. They cut out a whole extra minute of fluff. Mm-hmm. So you get like this whole extra third verse that we're so like used to not listening to. Because there's songs that I listen to now and it is like around the 4 minute mark and it's a 5-minute song. I'm like, damn, this is long. And it's almost like, okay, I kind of got the like satisfaction of what the song is. I like this one. I would say it's not my favorite of their catalog. Now they're still good, but it's not my favorite. I think my favorite would either be, obviously Close Off is really catchy, and then I do have some emotional connection because like me and my wife were dating at the time. It was like Ass Back Home. Like Stereo Love's a good one, but like, yeah, I'd probably say Close Off is my favorite gym class song. But yeah, no, this one obviously like it was such a unique concept back in the day. And I always thought it was just kind of like it's very spoken wordy for a pop song.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of interesting about it. But yeah, no, it was one of those that hit me, and I was like, I was a little busier this week with life, so I didn't have as many songs I jammed out to. So I was like, hey, normally if I go for a walk, I get a solid like 20, 30 songs in like for my walking routine that I have root stuff. I probably listen to maybe 5, 6 tracks outside of like the normal radio commute. So that's what made me pick this one. But yeah.
They did a good song with Cobra Starship.
Oh yeah, what was the name of it?
Called Bring It, I think.
I vaguely remember that.
It's really good. It has like 3 different people in it, and he's in it too. He has a pretty good part.
Cobra Starship. I haven't heard that one in a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give this Gym Class Heroes. I mean, for the creativity of it back then, I feel it deserves an 8. But I think in this discussion we're having now, I'll give it a 7. It's a 7 for me.
I give it a 5. Not a horrible song.
I thought you were gonna say 4. I don't know why I felt 4.
No, it's not horrible.
Do you have a favorite Gym Class Hero song, or is it the one Cobra Starship?
Probably the Cobra Starship. That one's really good.
Yeah.
Just because of the layers.
Yeah.
Everybody probably likes My Heart Stereo.
Well, that one's not bad. But
Not horrible.
I like Ass Back Home actually a little better from that era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dig it. New finds. Forward finds.
Forward finds.
So this one's from Kamikaze came out. This is from Eminem. 2018, right? Yeah, it was 2018.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, it was.
You're right.
Yeah, because the one that had the song River on with the album that Stump was 17. So I picked Lucky You, and it features Joyner Lucas. And this is kind of Joyner Lucas's coming out song, other than like the 6-minute video for I'm Not a Racist. Have you seen that video? Really good. It's a very interesting track. But yeah, no, Lucky You by Joyner Lucas and Eminem. Let's clip it.
Whoa. Johnny. Yeah, I done did a lot of things in my day. I admit it, I don't take back what I say. If I said it, then I meant it. All my life I won a Grammy, but I probably never get it. I ain't never had no trophy or no motherfucking ribbon. Fuck the system, I'm that nigga. Bend the law, cut the rules. I'm about to risk it all. I ain't got too much to lose. Y'all been eating long enough. It's my turn to cut the food. Pass the plate with my drink. This my day. Lucky you, fuck you too. Woo! Y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move. Give me some room. Give me some room. Give me the juice. How about the coupe? How about the coupe? How about the shoot? Y'all gotta move. Y'all gotta move. Give me the juice. Back on my bullshit. My back to the wall. Turn my back on you all and you finish. Back to these bullets. It's back to the job. Put my Mac on the.
Oh, dude, like the how the track goes hard and how like that whole first half. I can just listen to the first half over and over again. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with that first half. The first half is so good. I've heard that rhythm somewhere, but maybe it was that song. I've heard that song because I've listened to that a couple times. But yeah, that song was vibing. That first half was really good. The melody is very good, and a little piano in the background. If you have headphones, you can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a piano in the background. It's like, oh, this is good. And Eminem comes in towards the end.
Yeah,
just spits. Speaking of mumble rappers.
Yeah, he was definitely trashing him in that one.
Mm-hmm.
His verse wasn't bad. It's just compared to other Eminem verses, it wasn't like the most strongest one.
It was pretty much what's his face?
Joyner.
Yeah, it was pretty much his song.
That was the first time I heard it. Joyner Lucas was on this, and then I dove into his catalog because when I listened, I remember this album came out and it was kind of like a surprise. Came out of nowhere, the whole album, and you're like, holy shit! Like, especially because like it wasn't like Eminem's nature to do like instant drops like that, like some of the more current artists. So I'm like, shit, this is different. And then that was the third. It's like the second or third song on the album. And then when you get into it, you're like, who's this guy just fucking vibing off? And it's like, okay. And they looked him up, and he's from like Worcester, Mass. And like, whoa, little East Coast action. and then you see like he's kind of had like an indie rise, and that's where like you got like I'm Not a Racist came up, and then different songs he's done with like Chris Brown, and then you look into his catalog more, and you're like, shit, this is really catchy. But yeah, no, I think you said it's really Joyner's song, and Eminem just on it because it's freaking insane.
Which is nice of him to do.
Oh yeah, kudos to Eminem for doing that.
Yeah, because most people will never do that.
No, he gave him a platform, and then he took advantage of it, which is awesome to see. So for me, I'll give the whole song like an 8, but on the Joyner part, it's like a 9.5 for me. That's how much I go in. Like whenever I hear that, I at least hear the first half, and then I'll decide if I want to listen to the rest or skip it. But I'm like, it just gets me hyped, and I just freaking love it.
I give it a 7. It's good. It's really good. But
That's actually high for you.
But like you said, it's pretty much Joyner's song.
Yeah.
Which for Eminem to do, that's awesome.
Yeah, kudos to him.
Eminem, why are you so angry? God, I always gotta say that every time we talk about Eminem. I just gotta say that. Why are you still angry?
You ever think you'd ever do a happy album?
That's why the world is shit right now. Because he hasn't released a funny song in how long?
It has been a while since done like a classic Eminem comedic song.
Like seriously, like how long has it been?
People kind of say Godzilla was in that wheelhouse, but I don't want to say it is.
Yeah, but he spits so hard in that song though.
Oh, he does very much so.
Like I want to say like Encore in the Eminem show was like the last time he had like funny stuff.
Crack a Bottle is kind of in that area.
Yeah, but not as big as like Without Me and Just Lose It.
Yeah, I'm trying to see your phone. I'm trying to remember.
Like I don't think Relapse had any on there.
No, there is one. We Made You. Yeah, that one. I knew this one like drug references and stuff. Yeah, We Made You is the one that's like kind of.
Yeah, but
goofy.
since Recovery, he hasn't really done a funny.
That's a valid statement. I would agree with that.
This is what we need. Oh, what the hell happened here?
Yeah, what the hell did happen? Someone needs a haircut. Unless you're going for that long look.
I might. I don't know. Sometimes the undercut has to grow out before you can even do a good one.
That's true. That's a good point.
Anyway.
I just got mine done today.
Nice.
Yeah. And what's yours? I'm trying to look up the name. I was going to do an intro for it. Oh, Panic Room by Silent Planet,
Not
right?
Whatever we looked up earlier. It was like Panic Room by Uchi or something.
Abru Raru.
Abru. No, it's Panic Room by Silent Planet from 2016.
What?
Check it.
Lustrous lies obscured by opaque blinds. Frozen metacarpals tap, tap, tap. The window glass syncopated staccatos with a broken clock synchronized with my post-traumatic ticks, ticks. Talking to the space in the room that echoes back indiscernibly to my disconnected self. It's self-consuming. What's ensuing is my undoing. The nightly casualty of war.
Tap, tap.
Panic Room.
I'll give you my first comment I thought when I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those metal bands that remind me of like I feel like metal in my basic mind frame comes in two forms. It's either like dudes that look like you that like just sort of chill at like the bar or the coffee shop and look like normal 9 to 5ish.
Which they do.
Yep. They like the screamo type. It's like a not corporate metal because I'm not trying to say it's sold out. But it's like the guy where you're like, yo, let's grab drinks and stuff. And you like talk to them and then they're in a band. And then there's the metal where it's like they have their tongue looks like a like split in half like a snake and they're screaming. And it's like if you're not like in that zone, you feel so left out. And they have like, like leather jackets with crazy shit and like paint facing and like hair is crazy, like Korn. You know what I mean? I feel like there's like Korn metal, Slipknot metal, and then there's like A Day to Remember metal. And that's kind of, this group sounds more like that, like.
I mean, you look serious here. It's like they look like regular.
Yeah, they look like people I see in Vermont, like freaking talking about like, kicking ollies.
Usually the
like,
metal I listen to. I do not listen to all the fancy stuff. I guess you'd call it fancy. Fancy metal.
Is that was the term is fancy? Yeah.
I want to use that now. Fancy metal, black metal, and all that. It's going to be called fancy metal. They all get dressed up.
It's like a show in itself. Which, mind you, hey, if you enjoy that, that's great. But it's like,
that was I got made fun of in Goodwill for it. Like, oh, do they dress up? I'm like, no, they wear sweatshirts and jeans.
Yeah.
And August Burns Red wears American Eagle because it's from their hometown.
Oh,
because that's where it started. Yeah, it started in Lancaster,
PA.
Yep.
I did not know American Eagle.
That's where they're from. Yeah, so they wear a lot of American Eagle stuff. They wear Philadelphia Eagle stuff too. They wear. So it's like, yeah, they wear Philly jerseys. Yeah, they're regular people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Panic Room is about PTSD, and I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, you get PTSD from war, so how can I relate to it?" You can get it from other stuff too. So it's very relatable in other realms, relationships, family.
Mm-hmm.
You can get PTSD from that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I have it, but I have a form of it. I'm not gonna say why, but I do. So the song really relates to me, especially when he says, "None of this is real." That is a heavy part. And you made a comment during the song, like, "Oh, it's done. Oh wait, there's gonna be a crash, isn't there?"
Yeah,
and there was.
In the final minute, I'm like, "Yep, there's gonna come a crash."
It's not gonna end just like, "No, this is real."
Yeah.
Over.
Yep. I thought it was good. I liked it. It's one of those where I'm starting to learn from like listening to your music. I'm like, if it's more like this, if it's in like the metal area that feels more like you said, actually like guys I know in a band kind of vibe, I relate to it more versus kind of more of like, I don't want to. If I say any terms that are wrong, I'm gonna sound like a dick, and I'm not trying to sound like a dick. Like I'll just say, fuck it. There's sometimes you wonder, and this could be the same with like hip hop acts and pop acts. Like, where's like sometimes there's a dog and pony show. It's like this totally goes off kilter, but sometimes people want to get away from reality and have that like that. I'm not trying to say fantasy like it's Comic-Con, but they want to have an out of body experience. So they want to have a group that feels like it's kind of above them because it's kind of a mystical like experience. So yeah. I get it. I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like doing like acid or something. Like you want to have. I'm not saying I do acid. I'm just saying like if you want to have something that's beyond like normal life, but then there's stuff that you feel relatable to, and you're like, okay, I vibe with this.
Yeah, and I have a joke about Silent Planet. I say it's poetry with metal. If you
their lyrical content.
Yes, if you dive into a little bit, it's like this is like he's spitting poetry, but there's metal behind it. He doesn't really scream anyway. He's like it's yelling, but he's speaking to you. It's weird.
No, he really wasn't. I really connected with it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely dug it.
It's actually one of their slower songs too.
Oh really?
Yeah, one of the songs where it stops a couple times. There's a couple breaks in it. But they do that a lot. They have a very atmospheric feel to them. Not for everybody, but it's good. I love it.
That's awesome.
I give it an 8.5. Almost a 9. Yeah.
Nice. I was gonna give it I'll give it a Rocky 8.
Like, Rocky 8.
For me, like in the world of that universe, that's an 8 for me. So
it's their most played song at 2.8 million.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh. What year did it come out?
2016. Only 4 years old.
Okay, so just on the cutoff for our forward finds.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a good track.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. It was good. Those are some good choices we had this week.
Different choices too.
I was trying to keep it different. I was like, okay, for throwback, I'm like, what would be a little different? I'm like, you know what? Little Gym Class Heroes, that's a different one. So I was like, let's do it.
Do it.
Yo, I think it's a wrap. Was there anything else to say?
No. Just like us.
Like us.
Follow us.
Please follow us.
Comment what you want us to talk about.
Do you want to be on the show?
Do you want to be on the show?
Let us know.
We'll do 6 feet. We'll do Zoom, whatever you want. 6
feet, 2 feet. No, like we can be close combat together, but please, like, be common sense. Let's do a little PSA. If you don't feel good, stay home, get a test.
Please, yeah.
Things are going back up, and just respect each other. I know it's a hard time right now. Things are tense.
It will all calm down. You just got to do. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Vermont, you're amazing.
Yeah, we're in a bubble
keeping it.
Here.
We may be up and down with tests with the cases, but hey, we did what we had to do. But we had one stipulation: we want to live our lives still. And Governor Scott was like, "Okay, wear your mask. I'm going to open everything up." And you know what? It all worked out.
I know,
Why?
now,
Because we listen.
it has helped. And I will say, like right now, like we are in an uptick, but like our uptick is nothing compared to other states. Other states, like, you'll get 1,000 cases in a day.
Yeah.
And us being like, oh, it's an outbreak's like 40 in a week. So just to give you some concept, that we're very thankful for where we live.
Vermont, New Hampshire know what to do.
Being good.
We want to live our lives, but we will adjust to what you need.
Amen.
Hey, you might not even get it, but your family might get
And that's important. To
Yeah.
respect the ones you love and care
it. And
about.
don't just wear a mask. Eat good. Drink your water. Pay attention to your body.
That's actually important too. That
Don't
is.
just wear a mask. Eat good. Get your vitamin C. If you can't get it with food, go buy $2 at DG. That's the same shit. It's all the same crap.
DG.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C. Yeah, you know me.
Hashtag vitamin C. Hey, vitamin C it's a one-hit wonder.
Graduation.
Yes.
But on that note, we're going to sign out. Thanks for watching the show. We love you.